What's up, YouTube? You checking out the Frequent Flyer, and this is my quick review of the Deng Pantonma. And this is it right here. This thing looks very sporty, but I must say that this thing isn't very sporty at all. It's a docile flyer. It looks like this thing is a very sporty quad. It looks like it's going to just take off and you're going to be whipping this thing around and all, but it's actually very slow to react to full inputs. Now, not that it's not non-responsive, but it's just slow to get into deep pitch. So when you give deep input to it, full input, it's going to take a while. It gradually gets into its full pitch, so that makes it not very maneuverable. That makes it very docile. And this thing has altitude hold, so altitude hold hinders your maneuverability as well. It's just not very sporty. But one thing that I do like about this is its modular design. So this thing has a lot of spots where you can clip on modules and stuff like that. This is the obstacle avoidance module here. So that's another thing. This is the first toy quad that I have received that has obstacle avoidance. But sadly to say, the obstacle avoidance doesn't work very well. I think it's very impractical the way that it works, because a lot of factors go into play when using this obstacle avoidance module here, where it can't be too bright. It has to be a certain color, the object that you're flying towards or whatever, or else you'll just crash into it. And I think that that's just too much to have to deal with in order to have obstacle avoidance. Most of the times it just doesn't work. You have to have ideal flying conditions. Now, I haven't flown this indoors to say if it works 100% indoors, but this for the most part is an outdoor quad, so you shouldn't have to fly this indoors for the obstacle avoidance module to work. As far as its modular design, a lot of different parts are modular. Well, the battery is proprietary, so I don't know if I really like that, but it is modular. You can they can probably make a larger battery that'll go in there and it'll just clip into place right there. So the battery is modular. You have this front part here comes off. You just press that button there and this comes off, and then you can add a Wi-Fi camera. So the Wi-Fi camera can just clip right in there. And you can control the Wi-Fi camera with the transmitter. You hit these buttons on here and it'll move up and down. I think there's 3 positions. There's straight forward that way, and then there's two off to an angle downwards, and then there's facing full down like that, and that's it. This is the Wi-Fi module here, but you guys know with Wi-Fi FPV that there's a slight delay, so you can't really do any fast flying FPV with it. Just sort of use it to line up shots and, you know, capture video and stuff like that. The on and off button is on the top here. You have to hold it in for a few seconds and then the power kicks on. Just plug it up here. It does have lights on it. So it's an okay night flyer. It has blue in the front, red in the rear. So that's pretty awesome. The transmitter is this thing here, and the transmitter looks really odd because it's built on having a smartphone placed in the middle there. So as you can see, it extends, retracts and all to hold your cell phone. And I'm thinking maybe a small tablet, maybe a 7-inch tablet maybe would fit in here, because it stretches pretty wide. But you can't use any of the camera functions or anything without having a smartphone. So I thought that was a downside to it. There's no SD card in here, you know, in the camera or anywhere where you can store your images and video capture on a card or anything. You have to have a smartphone. So those options don't even work if you don't have the smartphone in the middle. Not really that bad at all as far as a video capture and photo capture machine, because it does have altitude hold and it's very easy to fly, so beginners should be able to just pick this thing up and fly right away. It has an auto launch and landing button here, and that works pretty well. And it has 3 speeds, although the first rate, the yaw rate, is very slow, and it barely even moves, but the second rate and third rate are almost the same. It feels the same because the yaw rate, there's not much difference in the yaw speeds, and because of the fact that it takes a while for it to go into full pitch for full input, it makes the last two rates seem almost identical. This button here controls the video and photo capture, and this is a return to home, but of course it doesn't have a GPS in it, so it just flies backwards down the heading, and it does have headless mode. The headless mode holds the heading of the direction it's pointed in when you first plug the battery in. So, and it does have the trims, side trims and elevator trims, but it doesn't have throttle trim, but it does have the yaw trim over here. So, and it does flip, and the flips aren't recovered very well. It loses a little altitude on the flips, but then altitude hold kicks in and it kind of goes back up to the height that it lost. And so it comes with a set of prop guards there, so beginners can get comfortable with flying it, and maybe you can even fly it indoors and use the obstacle avoidance. I don't know, but I don't think that it's an indoor quad personally, but I guess with that and the obstacle avoidance and the altitude hold, you probably can do it. And then it comes with an extra set of spare props and a little screwdrivers in there, and it comes with screws, extra screws in there. And this is the charger. This is the charging cable for USB, and that's another thing I have to mention. This transmitter here has an internal battery, so you charge the transmitter up and you charge the battery up with the same USB charging cable. And this is the instructions manual, pretty legible English, very detailed, nice instructions manual. So that's it, the Pantonma by Deng. Thanks for watching.